All right, let's make card 3. It's not too hard to do, but we do need to do a slight bit of prep. So we're going to cut some shimmer trim. Need a couple different pieces. First, you're going to cut 2 pieces of shimmer trim at 2 1/4. Let's see if I'm staying in camera range there. 2 1/4, and put 1 each with each card. And then we need a long skinny piece that's going to be about 4. Just cut it at 4 1/2. So if we make a mistake, we've got a little bit extra to play with. And then you're gonna you can do this 2 ways. You can, well, yeah, I guess 2 ways. You can get some washi tape to do this, or just take off a little bit of the backing at the top, 1/4 inch or so, and a little bit of the backing at the bottom. Or you can do this with washi tape if you don't want to ruin your nails. And the point is, we need to tack this down to the trimmer so that it will be easy to cut in half. And then I'm going to move this out of the way because I need my trimmer to be flat. So now I'm going to put this so that it's centered over where my cutting takes place. And I kind of hold that down. And that should be pretty much in half, like that. So get that done. And then we're gonna do a little stamping. We're gonna do stamping on both cards, the fancy one and the not so fancy one, although still nice one, right? So let's get this. You're gonna need the beige piece. Yep, there it is. The beige piece, which is toffee. We'll start with that one. And we're gonna do some more of that border. So grab your black and your little tiny border stamp there. And just try to keep it to the middle. So when you do your first one, try to keep it to the center of that strip, like that. And then just keep going across. Try to stay in that same spot. And they match up pretty easy if you can just not get it too high or too low. One more on that one. And let's do the other one. Might as well get them both out of the way, right? Since we know we're gonna make both cards here. I'd be interested to know if you guys, when you're making these, are you just waiting and making the fancier one? Or do you actually make the close to my heart one first and then the fancier one second, like I do? All right, put those back with your cards. The other thing we need is the gray, is it gray? No, French vanilla square. And my ink is not super wet. It really needs a re-inking. And do I have the re-inkers here in Chicago? I do not. So I'm gonna press hard, try to get as much ink as I can, and go right in the center. Push, 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 hard. Let it sink in. Now, it's not gonna be as black as I want it to be, but I'll get my re-inkers this weekend, hopefully. Not too bad. Lots of ink, lots of pressure, and an extra time sitting on that. You can use your fingers and then pull that up. All right, and then you want the wishing you, that's gonna go above it. Try to keep it straight. I'm gonna use a little more ink on that and press a little harder. Wishing you. Much better the second time. And then this holiday season. So wishing you joy this holiday season. Well, we really won't need joy all year round, don't we? Pull that off. And the same with this one. And that means our prep is over. So now we can put the cards together. Start with the close to my heart version first. On the left-hand side, you're going to put this big, beautiful piece of pattern paper. Oop, that one's gone. And that one's gone. I've gone through 3 while I've been making these, and we're only on card 3. Wow. Okay, it goes flush with the left edge and the bottom. And then we just kind of add these in layers. So next is the shimmer trim, which will be easy to peel off since you already started it. And that's gonna go right next to that. Now when I made these cards the first time around, I kind of ran off the paper at the end of all these layers and stuff. So we'll see if I do this time. Don't know if I was cut wrong or if the cutting guide was wrong, but it was, I did run off a little bit on the edge. Next is that zip strip piece. Put that on. Now the fancier card only has a couple changes, so it's not, you know, a big difference, just a small difference. Now you're gonna need that red. But I did turn the main pattern paper around on the second one. So that changes the look of the card. It is nice to have the patterns be different on the second side, isn't it? Because if you don't like the first one, use a little glue on this one because it's skinnier. If you don't like the first paper, you just turn it over. You probably will like the second. Put that up against it. And then this last one is really big, so I don't know if I cut wrong or something. So we will have to trim it, or maybe it was layered over. I don't have the directions in front of me. So what I'm gonna do is just trim that off. So let me know if yours was cut the same way or if you ran off the paper too. Not quite sure what was up with that. Now this piece probably would fit on my second card, so I'm just going to hold on to it. That way I don't have to trim. All right, now let's get these together. Oh, and I did forget one thing. We want to do a little pen work here. So you're gently going to go around the outside edge. Doesn't have to be straight. And just don't go off the edge necessarily, unless you like that look. This is not the right pen for this job, but I don't have the right pen for this job. I'm gonna let that dry while I do the second one because my ink is pretty wet. These pens are great for journaling or for anything that you don't want to bleed through. They're really good about that, and so I use them in writing all the time and just in writing in general. But they do take a minute to dry. Okay, so I'm gonna set that back at the first one. Oh, I did a little smear. Shoot. Okay. So now this is gonna go on your glitter paper. So you got a little glitter paper mat here. I don't think you can see that, so let me put that up here. I'll try not to smear this one like I just did the last. Little off center there. And then onto the mink paper. Now, I believe this goes 1 inch up from the bottom and 3/8 of an inch over. And we're going to put it down flat because we're going to add that shimmer trim on top of it, and you can't do that if you pop it up. So 3/8 of an inch over, and then grab that shimmer trim, and you're going to cut it in 2 places, and a slant there, and then the same slant over here, and then get that taken off the backing. See how I do on this. There we go. All right, and that goes right up here. Oh, and you know what I did? I wasn't supposed to do the glitter paper on this one. That is for the fancy one. Somehow I cut 2 glitter papers. So technically, this is going to go right on the gray. So if you're looking around for your glitter paper, no, that's for the second one, but I accidentally cut 2. So technically this is only going to go just on the gray like that. Okay, so if you had an extra glitter paper, fine. But that was not supposed to go on this one. Okay, and then that is done. That looks just like that. Now let's do the second one and we'll have glitter paper on that too. So whoops. All right, let's work on the second one. This time we're going to turn the paper around from that to this side just to do a different look. Okay, like that. And then we're just going to add those various layers. So start with your shimmer trim. Put it at the top and then just butt it up against that red. And that will be a little extra long because I had you cut it just a tiny bit long. Better too long than too short. Then your zip strip is next. Stick that in there. I can tell that it's getting to be like 4 or 5 because I hear people in the hall at the apartment because they're coming home from work. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, 4:06. Next is the red polka dot again. So the only changes we're making on this one is we're adding in that glitter paper under the mat, and then we're gonna do some stickles. So it didn't have a lot of extra fancy stuff on it. Then you're gonna do this little thing, don't forget, glue will probably work better on this. Because this card was already very cute. Didn't need to make it really fancy. So just turning around that paper, adding in the glitter, and then we're gonna put a little stickles there. So I'm gonna go back and use this piece since for some reason, I went back and looked and the green is cut right. So maybe I cut something else wrong, but it doesn't look like it on the instructions. So I'm thinking that this might not be wide enough. I'm thinking that it was their mistake, not mine. Okay. Close that up. Get your ruler out and go 1 inch from the bottom, 3/8 of an inch in, and we're gonna add these again. And we're gonna use the glitter paper again. Get that right, yep. Gotta use excess glue when you're putting something on glitter paper because it doesn't like to stick. And then this is gonna go on top of the gray paper, the mink. Like that, and it's just that extra layer really makes it pop out. And 3/8 of an inch over, 1 inch up. About there. Grab that shimmer trim, cut it slanted, and then slanted again. Okay. And then we're gonna pop that up, and then we're just gonna do a little stickles and we'll be done. Up. Janitor's out there doing the vacuum cleaner. Can you hear him? Take your stickles. In every other one of these little circles here, put a dot in the middle. Every other one, just a little squeeze. And then you're gonna, of course, set this to dry because it'll take about as long as like Elmer's glue to get a good hard dry on it. And then we will move on to our next card. So there you go. That's the way it's supposed to look without the glitter paper. Okay, guys.